Writing Prompts, WP. A minor god bangs on your door. Upon opening the door, they say, "You need to stop offering these valuable things to me. Gods with more power and authority than I have are getting more and more jealous. This confuses you since you only offered bracelets made from some colorful rocks and vines." I stand at the door, completely nonplussed. My thoughts struggling to keep up with the sheer gravity of what just happened. My body, on the other hand, was much quicker on the uptake, attempting to make me prostrate myself or bow or, well, anything really, and without the input from my brain to choose, made me do a weird jerky fall onto the ground where I just sat until I could think again. As I stared at the being stood just outside my door, its face wrinkling into what looked like an apologetic smile, I contemplated the offerings they had referenced. My mind suddenly caught up and I asked, Who are you exactly? Unsure if who was the right word in this instance, considering the gods stood at 12 feet tall, their form constantly shifting between different animal shapes, with a hefty dash of plant life in there too. "Oh, for goodness sake," it said with an accent somewhere between Cornish and Glaswegian, but somehow nowhere near either. "You been offering tributes and don't even know my name? We've chatted enough." I stared, and the realization hit me like a bus. "You're Steve, but the doctor gave me all those pills, and you were real this whole time." I started to cry, tears rolling freely down my face. I knew I wasn't crazy. "Aye, but you need to calm down with the offerings. You have pissed off a fair portion of the major gods as you've given me a physical form in record time," he explained, as I started to realize my predicament. "What do you mean?" "It's always just a friendship bracelet, made out of local stone. I make them myself, and they're not very good." I sniffed, trying to rationalize what could possibly have annoyed a god about them. "Aye, little one, but you poured every ounce of love into them, and that's why I've tried to pour every ounce of love right back," he said with a warm smile and a loving twinkle in his eye, like a proud uncle watching his niece at the ballet. What really did it was the type of stone. His brow furrowed at this. "I thought it was just quartz," I replied dumbfounded. "Unfortunately not. It's a very rare form of pure earth essence, and as such is very powerful, and now all of the gods know where it is. Not just the good ones." He finished with a worried look, glancing around. My head spun. I was totally out of my depth and starting to panic. "What do I do?" I said, a nervous quaver in my voice. "Only one thing we can do. Go get as much as we can and you have to come with me," he said with an apologetic look and a flourish of his hand to lead me out the door. As I stepped out into the warm afternoon sunshine, I felt happy, like I'd been thrust into a beautiful dream. "Where to Steve?" I asked, still reeling from the last 5 minutes, but with nothing to leave behind besides my half-eaten dinner. "You tell me," said Steve.